The 7th annual JUE Music and Art Festival wrapped up this month with 45 events held in Shanghai and Beijing. The 11-day event included artists from 8 countries and a number of different genres. Caiqin has more for this edition of Expat Extra.
Archie Hamilton helped found a company that brings artists from China and overseas to local stages across the country. He has spent the past 10 years promoting creative events in China with his friends, and the JUE Music and Art Festival is one of the biggest events every year. Since 2009, the multi-venue festival has included different musical genres, exhibitions and talks across Shanghai and Beijing.
You know, it's not just about the music. You know, this is kind of fun because we have a whole lot of other stuff going on. You know, we had 2 contemporary dance workshops, both of which were completely sold out. We had something called Youth Day, which is where we bring a bunch of kind of inspirational people from the creative industries to come and talk to a bunch of kids who maybe want to learn how to be part of the creative industries.
You know, we work with managers and, you know, sometimes other booking agents who they approach us about wanting to do tours across all of Asia, you know, because they think it could be a good idea. But most of the time we're reaching out to them and trying to get, you know, artists on our roster and, you know, really trying to make it appealing that it's a growing market. So it can be challenging at times, but most of the time, you know, artists and bands are really, really receptive to it. So it's been very good so far.
It took around 4 months to prepare the 45 events for this year's festival, and Hamilton hopes the event can help some aspiring artists.
Because I think in China there's still very little education that goes on in the schools around creative arts and that kind of thing. And so a lot of kids who maybe don't fit into the traditional mould of, they maybe feel a little bit lost. I experienced that when I was young, you know, when I was growing up in Scotland. You know, my parents were very traditional, you know, kind of wanted me to do traditional jobs. My dad's an accountant and they wanted me to do accountancy, and, you know, it is quite hard when your education doesn't help you to understand that there's other things out there. So a lot of the things that we do at JUE is kind of aimed towards helping young people understand a little better what the possibilities are and helping them to understand how they can get there.
Some local students who love music help organize the event every year.
I
have been working as an intern here for almost a month, because I really like indie music and I have attended many events held by the company. So I applied for internship to learn more about event management during my holiday.
Hamilton said when he first got here 10 years ago, the market wasn't ready for a big music festival. But the country's biggest music festivals now draw more than 200,000 people each year. Caiqin, Shanghai Live.